Come on in, here we go, Blake. Right, so we're here today at Manor Farm Leisure Fisheries. We're on fishing a match on the island pool today. It's a new fishery to me, never been here before. I've drawn peg 15. It's meant to be an alright one. Got no idea what to do really. My plan for the day, what we're going to go with like a hard pellet approach on the pole. I'm going to start off on a method to the island and then possibly a bomb as well. It's going to be very much pellet fishing today by the sounds of things. But the fish are quite a decent stamper after 6, 7 pound on average with some really big F1s as well apparently. So right, looking forward to it. So I'm going to get method over to that island and then we'll see how we do. Right, so I've started on the method just to see how things go. The other lines I'm going to feed a line at 14 metres on the pole. With that one, I'm just going to ping pellets on that. I'm going to ping some oiled up 6mm coarse pellets. I'm going to ping them. Hopefully I'll be able to catch through the water and on the bottom with them. The reason I've oiled them up is to get them to break down really, really slowly. So that way the fish are going to be eating hard pellets out of my peg and they're not going to break down on the bottom, causing there to be ground bait on the bottom. So hopefully the fish will eat the same thing that's on my hook because that's what I'm feeding. The other line I think I'm going to feed, I'm going to ping a bomb line across there, probably about 30 metres out. I'm going to feed some 8mm pellets on the bomb. So we'll have to see how that goes. I don't really want to split the fish too much on my pole line and a bomb, so I may hold back and feed the pole line first and see if I need to feed a little bit further on if the fish want to be further out. And lastly, I'm going to feed down this edge. I'm going to put a little bit of ground bait just off this pallet. I think I'm going to get around 4 foot just off the pallet. Hopefully we'll catch a few big fish there later on. Right, well we've had perfect timing. We've had half an hour now, and that's literally the first bite we just had. There haven't been many fish caught. There's a couple of people on 1 and 2 fish, so it's definitely not a fast start for anyone. So I've started pinging that pole already. All the fish seem to be getting caught at like 3/4. It seems a lot better than tight to the island where I have been fishing. So I've literally just started feeding me. Just started feeding the lead line instead. I think that's going to be a lot better than fishing a method tight across to the island. But so with that fish, I'm going to give it one more cast. In fact, I'm not. No, I'm going to come on the pole now because for fish that big, it's not really worth wasting time sitting on that method feeder. So I'm going to come on the pole and just give it a quick 10 minutes on the pole. And see if there's out over that. What am I doing? I've just been pinging a few 6mm, very small 6mm. Just on that, just pinging 4 at a time, probably every 5 minutes. And I'm going to fish that. I've probably got 6 foot of water. I'm fishing a 4x16s, and what I've got a bulk about 1 foot away from my hook, and then just 2 tiny number 11 droppers. Just we had a bit of wind before, so I wanted something to keep it nice and still. So we've got a nice big float of 4x16s, just to hopefully keep that in place. So we've been pinging a few pellets for about 15 minutes. So we're going to see if there's anything willing. Luckily that rain stopped, so it's a bit more comfortable now fishing. That said, there's a great big one's just jumped out right over my method line on the island, so maybe I made the wrong decision here. Maybe I was a bit quick coming off that, but so we'll still give this just a couple of minutes just to see if there's anything there yet. And what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to just find somewhere to settle as quick as I can. If I can find 2 lines that produce the odd fish, then I'll be quite happy then. I say I don't expect anything. Oh, I've got a bite there straight away on the pole, which is good. I'm still a bit unsure of exactly what we're fishing for, so I've started quite light, to be honest. I've started on 0.10 hook length to an 0.15 main line, and we've got quite a soft elastic as well. I say I'm really unsure. This is a proper fish though, this, so again that might be a bad thing to start with. It seems as if everything's pulls a bit in here. It's definitely not lazy fish. It's like a proper carp that as well, which is good. A nice start. It's quite interesting. Everyone on the lake sort of doing something different, so it's going to be really hard to sort of watch other people to determine what's the best. A decent fish, like, not massive, but if I can catch 4 or 5 of them an hour, that should give me a decent weight come the end, like. Squeeze him in. Yeah. Bigger landing net required. That's a decent start, that one. He's probably £8, isn't he? Yeah, that's definitely good. That's something good to work with, that. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to pop that float up a little bit. It's a little bit tiny, a little bit too low. I'm just going to take him off and put a taim around the top. Right, so I'm well happy with that. That gets me right back in the race. I've probably got, that one's probably about £8 with an F1, so I've probably got £9. Which, if I can average £20 an hour, that should give me there or thereabouts. So you reckon about £100 going to win today? So with a bit of luck, a few more of them, it shouldn't be a mile off. So that fish is definitely a lot bigger than I imagined I'd be catching. But I'm not complaining. Feels really weird to be feeding with a catapult again. It's the first time this year, I think, that I've been pinging pellets, so it does not feel weird doing it. But now I've got a couple of lucky ones, but I think that I'm on it a little bit too early. Yeah, he's in the mouth, mate. A bit bigger. Right, well I think we're about 40 minutes in now. So I had that first fish on the method, then switched to my pole, and to be honest, the pole's been quite good. I've had 20 minutes on it. I've had a carp about £8, a carp about £5, and a few other bits and bobs as well. So there's definitely a few fish there, but I'm still very conscious of that no one else is fishing the pole. Everyone else is staying a little bit further out to begin with, which in one way it's good because it means I'm getting it to myself. But also I think that I could be on it a little bit too early. So I'm just going to have another cast now and see how it goes, see if I catch another carp. If I do, I might give it another go. If not, I think I'm going to move out just onto that bomb, just to see if there's any fish a little bit further out to begin with. I feel like if I can ping this pole without fishing it for a bit longer, then hopefully it might end up really good. And I've been feeding right over the top of my float as often as I can, and I'm getting the odd indication as well, so I think there's a chance later on you might even catch a few fish shallow. So I'm going to stick with this another 5 minutes, and then we're just going to give that bomb just a quick try. I've been pinging 8 mils about 30 metres. There's a bite then. Yeah, I've been pinging 8 mil pellets about 30 metres towards that rope. So I don't want to give them too much bait because I don't want to stop the fish coming onto my pole line. But at the same time, I do think that's where the vast majority of the fish are at the moment. I think they're further out in the middle of the lake. So we'll see how it goes. That wind's getting up a little bit, but at least it's in my face, so I'm not having too much trouble holding my pole as yet. It's quite hard to understand what's actually happening on that pole line. When I first went on it, there were like lots of bites. There were lots of small fish there, so I had that big one, and then there were lots of small fish there, but that sort of faded really quick, and then it's just an odd bite now, but it's as if when I get a bite, it's a bigger fish. So that's definitely what's leading me to believe that I need to just rest it a little bit and just keep nicking 2s and 3s off it. So my feeding needs to be a bit better as well. It's not as accurate as it can be on this pole. It's better. That F1 then of my pole just passed. Yeah. Coming closer, mate. Yeah. That's what they do when that rain goes down, they all come up, don't they? And they won't feed for a bit though, I don't think. This might be one. Right, well I've had 3 chucks on this bomb now. It definitely seems to be the right thing to do. Although I'm not getting many bites on it. I've had 2 proper bites and this is my second proper fish. So I've caught F1s on this, which the last one was about £3, and then this one, I think it's an F1. So there doesn't seem to be, excuse me, there's not a lot of fish there. I'm not getting lots of liners or anything. But if I sit there, I'm getting a bite from a big fish at least. And in the meantime, I'm getting to ping that pole lovely. It'll be nice and accurate because I'm not holding my pole. And it should make that pole line really, really good if I can have a half-hour spell on this and put 10 or 20 pounds in the net. So it's another decent F1, couple of pounds. So it's definitely noticeable that all the F1s are hanging further out at the moment. They're definitely 3/4 of the way across. Or the bigger F1s are anyway. So if I can pick a few off on this, and then by feeding that pole line, it'll really build it up on the bottom. And like I mentioned before, with a bit of luck, I might even catch a few shallow on it later on. That's what I'm doing. I'm just pinging a few big pellets over there, some big 8 mils. I should have done that before I caught that fish, but there you go. So just by putting a couple of grooves in my pellet, then put my band on, it makes it stay on a lot better. I don't have to worry about it coming off on the cast then. So I'm fishing quite light on the bomb. I've just got an 0.15 hook length, and I'm just using, instead of a bomb, I just use a little tiny 8-gram Olivet. I find it goes in a lot nicer. There's a much smaller splash when it goes in. That for small fish like this, that can make a big difference. Sink that line. What I'm planning on doing, I'm planning on staying this for 1 or 2 more casts, probably about 10 more minutes, and then I'll have another look at the pole again. It feels like it's going to be quite a busy day that I need to skip about quite a bit. And that as soon as I go on a method, it seems I'm catching a fish, but then very quickly it's slowing down. So if I can keep them spells as short as possible in between the peg going dead and me moving, I should be able to put a few more fish in the net by the end of the match. I think it's only another F1, I think. Oh, little cap. What it's done to me up, Clint. Could be a great big lazy one, this. It's a wobbler. It could just be a bin bag or something. It's not moved yet. We had a little wobble then. Oh yeah, it's wobbling now. I don't know if this is massive or a big lazy F1. Yeah, it's not a big one. Big vintage ones there, aren't they? Like pensioner F1s. Great big lads. What's that? Yeah. A mirage. Yeah. Get the bikini on. Bigger day, Rich. 2.5 pound. Isn't it? One more cast. 17, one more cast to add. Just doesn't feel like I need to change yet, I don't think. No panic. That one might be a bit bigger, mightn't it? It's a proper boy, that man. That ain't moved. Yeah. Tighten him up a little bit. Yeah, I'd have expected that to be a big F1 the way it had it as soon as it settled. I'd always say that was an F1, but if it is, then it's a serious one. I don't think it is. Better one, mightn't it? Much better one. Ooh. Right, that's going good at the moment. an F1, mate, innit? Very lively little F1. I'm going to land this. I'm going to have a little go on my pole just to see. Ooh, yes. Little. Nothing wrong with that. I hope. Right, just have a quick go on that and see if there's anything on the pole yet. Right, well I've probably spent the last nearly an hour on that bomb actually, because the lake definitely seems to go through a bit of a change. There were a lot less fish showing, you weren't seeing any fish topping, and there weren't that many fish getting caught either, if I'm honest. So just by sitting on that bomb, I caught half a dozen fish. I think I've had 6 fish on the bomb, which has probably got me a good 20 to 25 pound. See, now that wind slightly changed, and I just thought I've pinged that pole for the last hour. So we've literally just dropped on it now, just to see if there's anything happening on that. The bomb line's really, really erratic. There's no indications or anything, it's just that you get a bite out the blue. So it's very difficult to know whether you're going to get a bite once you caught your last fish or not. There's nothing to tell you there's a lot of fish there. But I think at the moment, if I can rotate these 2 lines, my pole, maybe catch 2 or 3 fish on the pole, then go back on the bomb, catch 2 or 3 fish, I think that's going to tick me through probably until the last hour, maybe last hour and a half, when the fish are they're either going to come shallow on this long pole, or I might catch a few short as well. I've still not fed anything down this edge, but I'm going to feed in 4 foot just off this next pallet to my left, and we're going to try and catch a few down there. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to watch everyone else, and if anyone else catches one down the edge, then I'm going to go for it. If not, I'm not going to bother. I'm going to keep on fishing out in open water. So there's no real signs on that pole yet. I was expecting a really quick response on that after feeding it for the best part of an hour. I was convinced I'd drop on that and I'd get indications straight away, but ooh. That wind's quite difficult now. It's gone side on and I'm having to cling on a bit. So what is another option that I might be forced to do is maybe swap to a smaller hook length on my bomb and chuck it over this pole line if I can't quite present it. Well, my rig's fine, I say it's just holding my pole, it's a bit difficult at the moment. So there's nothing there as yet. Right, well, it's quite surprised me now. I've been on pole and I've just spent probably 10 minutes on it. And I've not actually caught a fish, which after feeding it for nearly an hour without fishing it, I fancied that being really good, to be honest. But that wind's making things a little bit difficult with it being side on. It's a bit hard to hold the pole, like it's blowing it out my hands. But so there was a definite lack of options, lack of indications over the feed. One of those. Chuck bomb back out. I'm going to feed it, but next time I go over the pole line, I'm going to chuck a little bomb over it instead. So at least by chucking a bomb over the pole line, it'll give me a much better idea what is in my peg. And if I get plenty of liners, I know there's some fish there and it's worth spending some time on it. So the feed's a lot more accurate on my pole than it is when I'm pinging these 8mm in the middle of the lake. But I'm going to go back on this now. I'm going to have 2 or 3 casts on this just while I feed. Get a bit of bait out there again. I'm still only feeding 3 pellets each cast. Although I'm upping it a little bit because the seagull's eating 1 pellet every time I feed. I'd say just 3 pellets every single cast, or probably twice a cast I'm probably feeding out there. just with 3 big ones. So I'm still pinging 6 mils over this line, but I'm a bit worried about how many pellets I've fed on that line now and not caught a fish. I'm feeding them in 4s and 5s, so there's quite a lot of bait gone onto the bottom there without getting eaten by the looks of things. There's a few indications on this now, like. So it has worried me that I've not found 2 things that are guaranteed to produce me fish. The bomb seems to be quite steady, and where I thought the pole was going to be a good option, it's fizzled out to nothing. So although I don't want to do it, that method feeder may come back into play. So we'll see what happens. I'm not in any rush yet. There's not too many fish being caught around. I think I'm there or thereabouts. So if I can just keep ticking over with a couple of fish, or 3 or 4 fish every hour before that last hour, that should see me with 70 odd pound before the last hour with a bit of luck. But at the moment, I don't know where they're going to come from. Right, well I think we're just past halfway. I think we're nearly 3 hours in, to be honest. And it's dead noticeable that the lake's like completely changed. At first there were quite a few fish about, they were topping everywhere. It was quite obvious where they wanted to be and you could go there and catch a few fish. But now that there's no signs of anything anywhere. I've been back on that bomb, I've had a few liners, but nothing much. And I've tossed the bomb over my pole line, got a quick skimmer over that, but again, there's not too many indications. So I've just had a quick chuck back on this method, just back into that shallow water by the island, just to see if a few fish want to be there. But at the moment, it's really a case of trying to watch everyone and just see who's catching what and what they're doing. So no one's running away with it. I think we've got 40 pound at the moment. It won't be a mile off. But so the match has definitely gone backwards a bit. It's really, really quieting down now, and I don't know where to go to catch a few fish. There's the odd fish starting to get caught down the edge to me. The 2 chaps to me right, they've both caught a couple of fish down the edge. But again, only F1s, so nothing that's going to be a game changer. I'd say I'm a bit confused at the moment of what to do next. So I still think there's a few fish to be caught on that bomb if I'm nice and patient and I swap about with some muck bait. So I'm just going to have 2 chucks now on this method feeder, just see if there's any fish in that shallower water. I've not seen any fish over there, so I don't think we're going to catch much in that depth. Ooh, a bit of a movement then. So while I'm trying that, I'll keep feeding that pole. I'm going to try that pole next. The wind's dropping a little bit now, so I think there's a chance I might be able to hold that pole a bit better. So I caught that skimmer when I threw a bomb over the top of it, and there was the odd little liner, but nothing to let me know there's a lot of fish in my peg, which I really did expect there to be loads of small fish on the bottom there by now. So I think I'm just going to give it 10 more minutes on this feeder. So I have two more casts in that time, and then we're going to go from there. It's not like coincidence, so a fella next to me's got one. Just a gang swimming around the lake, innit? And they've settled in this area for a little bit before we upset them and they swim off somewhere else. Yeah, you need to make the most of them when they're in front of you. I don't know what this is. Yeah, an octopus. An F1 in it, not a carp. Yeah, a little F1. Again, it's leaving me a bit confused now. It's nice that a couple more fish have definitely come into the peg, but yeah, it's only an F1. What to do? What would you do, boss? Is staying on that bomb going to be enough or not? Right, we got hour and a half to go now. The last 2 hours have been really weird. I've not caught much at all. I probably had 2 or 3 fish, but then literally the last 3 casts, I just swapped my method because I was going to throw a bomb and a bit of popped up bread over to that island because I'd seen a few big fish moving just off the grass on the island, but just as I was about to do so, there's a couple of fish on my bomb line now, and I've just had three decent F1s in 3 chucks. And it does seem to be waking up a little bit again. There's a few more people catching an odd fish now. It's definitely waking up again. I suppose it's what you get a lot of the time at this time of the year, when the fish aren't quite ready to feed all the time. You get them little spells, you catch a few early on, then it goes quiet, and you catch a few late on. I'd say today's just been a case of not messing it up during that middle of the match when they're not feeding. So by throwing loads of bait or spending time doing the wrong things. Luckily, I've not fed too much bait on that bomb. So at least if the fish do turn up on it now, there should still be quite a bit of competition for the bit of bait I've fed. I'm thinking now that the way things are looking, I'll be very surprised if we end up fishing down the edge, or possibly even if we go on the pole again. I think by sitting on this bomb, I would like a chuck on that bomb and bread. I do think there's a chance of a big fish on it. But I'm going to sit on this tip for the next half hour, just on the lead over my pellets. Just see what I catch in the next half hour. If I can catch 5 or 6 fish, then that should get me well up there. Then it's another bite then. It's going quite nice and steady now. Not fast and furious, but one every 5 minutes. It's a £2 a piece. They're going to add up really quick. This one feels a bit smaller. Still put up a good account for themselves, even though they're only F1s. Do some pulling. So just fishing really light, but I'm still only got an 0.15 hook length on. I can't pull them too hard. My rod's mega soft, so it's just right for this like short range lead fishing. I hope it's a carp. It'd be nice if it's a bit bigger, wouldn't it? Come on. Thought he was a bit angry. A little strange ghosty one, that. Right, well that's been a proper weird 15 minutes. I was just thinking about coming off that bomb when I've had one, and the next cast had a few indications, then got another one, and then I've literally just had 5 on the settle. Literally, I've chucked my bomb in, I've been sinking my line, and they've had it off. So they've all been, I've had 2 carp and 3 F1s while I'm doing that. It's mad how the peg just changes in an instant, but there's a lot more fish topping now as well. They've definitely woken up and they want to have a feed, which has kept the match nice. I think I'm up to around, I've probably got about £55 now, I think, something like that. Maybe a bit more, maybe between 55 and 60. I say, I think we're gonna we're going to be there or thereabouts now. There's a few people catching on the far side. They'll have a similar weight depending on what type of fish they've caught. There's some really big carp that are in here apparently. So they don't need many fish to do a big weight, but so if I can keep catching like this, I'll be really happy now. We've got a chance of getting around the 90 to 100 pound mark if they keep coming. But it's quite obvious that they definitely switched on. Everyone in the area is catching fish as well. The chap to my right's catching a few. The 4 blokes to my left are catching a few fish. So they've definitely woken up a bit now. What I'm going to start casting a little bit more regularly on this bomb. This is the first cast out of 6 that I've had that it's got down to the bottom and it's been there for 2 or 3 minutes now and I've not had a bite. So it may be that they're homing in on that splash and getting straight in on that pellet. So I'll just give this another 30 seconds. Just ping some over the top and then we'll have another cast with him, see if we can grab their attention. There's definitely quite a few fish in the peg now. The feed hasn't changed, we're going to keep it. Still just keep feeding 3, maybe 4 pellets at the most, 2 or 3 times a cast. What I am doing as well, just to maintain my accuracy with casting, it's very hard to know where I'm casting to with throwing in open water. So just before I cast, I always ping out a couple of pellets, just see where they land, and then chuck my bomb straight over the top of them or just past, so I can straighten my bomb out as I pull it towards me. So we've not had a bite on that cast. Whiz him in, have another one. Ooh. Hello. Just check we're all alright, it's all good. I'll say what I do, I just ping 2 or 3 pellets just before I go in. I've got to mark a seagull now, which is always good. Chuck in straight just past them. That was right on top of them, that'll do. See, as my lead's sunk, I like to just give it a little pull as it's sinking if I can, just to try and straighten the hook length out slightly on the bottom. See, I'm a bit dubious about straightening my hook length after my lead's hit the bottom, because it feels like it's a little bit silty. There's a little bit of a few leaves and a little bit of rubbish on the bottom. So I don't want to risk pulling my hook into that, so it's important that I straighten it out while it's sinking, if I can. So there's some fish like moving to me right now. Yeah, see like half a dozen top towards me right. Oh no, there's still some in my peg. We're all right. Come on, thank you. Cast that again. A great big liner then that moved it about. Come on. It's a carp this, mate, isn't it? Little carp. Is it a bit bigger than F1? It's a lot bigger, but it's a bit bigger. It's a big boy. Right, well, probably, I think, in all honesty, I think I messed up a little bit here. I had that little run on the bomb, but with a couple of fish topping out there, I couldn't resist having a chuck on bomb and bread. And this is my second cast now. First cast, I've just had one probably about £4, probably £4. And I've gone in again, and it's literally settled and gone straight round again. So definitely that area to the right, just to the right of that little conifer that's been untouched all day. There definitely seems to be a few fish settled in there. I thought this was a lot bigger when I first hooked it. I don't think it's massive now, but they're definitely carp. So hopefully it fell off. I don't know what was up with that. That was a big fish there as well. That one. much better fish. If we weren't filming, I'd be doing lots of swearing right now. Let's have a look. All I'm doing, I'm just putting 4 pieces of bread on a hair. So not too deep. I'm fishing about what? About a foot deep, maybe a bit more, maybe a foot and a half. I'm catching just probably a metre off the island where they seem to be topping. Let's see if another one's waiting for us with a bit of luck. I didn't want that one to fall off, Rich. That was a big lad, that as well. It was a big wobbler. I've spent the last 20 minutes now on this bomb on bread, and I've had, I think I've landed 3 fish on it. No, 4 fish, sorry. I've had 4 carp on it. Probably between 3 and 4 pound, all of them. I've lost lost that bigger one as well on the way in. What I've got now, I've got about 40 minutes of the match left. So I've not had a bite on this cast. It's been in for about 3 or 4 minutes now. What I'm going to do, I'm going to come off this. I'm not seeing any more fish by the island. I'm going to have a quick on my bomb. See if I can have another little run of F1s on the bomb, maybe a carp or 2. And then obviously if I catch on that, that'll do us till the end of the match. If not, I can always chuck this back out. So there doesn't seem to be any fish getting caught on anything else. There's very few fish short. No one's catching down the edge, or there's very few getting caught on a pole either. So my time's definitely best spent across the lake, either over those pellets or right against the island, I think. So I'm going to crank this one in now. Chuck them over my pellet. And so see what happens to that last bit of the match. See if I can catch another. It'd be nice to catch another 15 pound just to end the match. Another carp, innit? Like that, it's worthwhile. Right, so I've just come back on the bomb. So it took a couple of minutes. We got the first one. I've just landed the carp, probably about £6. Gone straight in, got another one. So I think having that little rest by going on the chucking a lead and bread to that island's definitely done it a bit of good. It's allowed me to catch a few fish over there, put a little bit of weight in my net, and then let the fish build up again on the bomb, just so I can get a nice last 40 minutes where hopefully I'll be able to stay on this now until the end, so we'll see it. So I've always got that bread as another option. I can chuck that out and see if I catch another one. I think this is another carp, big F1 this one. Big F1. They are massive then. That must be best part of £4.5, that one. Big fish. So that wind's changed again now. It's blowing a little bit more at me than it has been. I think that could help bring a few fish into the peg. So I'm nice and happy now. I'm nice and settled. I've got 2 options of catching fish. It would have been nicer if I'd have settled an hour earlier, we'd have been able to catch a big weight. But there was definitely that lull in the match today, that middle of the match when nothing was feeding. I think possibly I should have spent my time on a bomb of bread then. I may have caught a couple of fish, but so we've not been here before. I'm happy with that. We've not been here before. It's really hard to know what's right and what's wrong. You sort of feeling your way in. It takes you a little bit longer than it would at a venue you fished a few times. I'm still trying to keep my eye on that island just to see if I see any fish topping. So, when I do throw that bomb of bread, it's a really quick bite when you get one, so you haven't got to waste much time on it. You know instantly whether you're going to catch one or not. So if I see any signs over there, then it'll be worth a quick cast. Oh, he's a big boy. You're going to need a bigger boat. That's one of Sean's fish, is it? Get in. He doesn't want to fit. There we go. Doesn't want to bend. Bigger net needed, but we're happy with that. I didn't think that one was going to go in then, mate. It'll cost me.
Yeah, you land this in 3 minutes, you've still got 5 minutes coming.
Oh, is it? Oh, definitely. I've got ages then. We get 2.
Yeah, you got 8.
Have we?
My first second, we just need hooking before.
Yeah. Yeah, we can catch 3 more maybe if we're doing really good. If I can have a line sinker next chuck. Bloody hell, that's the biggest F1 in the world, mate. How good is that? Look at him. That's a proper F1, isn't it? Yeah. He's a big lad, him. Right, ducky, get up my way. That one right over the top of them then.
I just looked up at it one day, I was like, your pellet looks big.
Carp just went home, tried to catch it mid-air. Right, go on, one more. Maybe 2 more.
5 minutes.
5 minutes?
Quick 5.
Yeah, if he goes now, and then a line sinker last chuck. We're having it. got to be, hasn't it? That's so good, isn't it? I like that. Oh, that's been like a nice ending. I probably had another 5 fish on the bomb there in the last 20 minutes to give me probably another £20. So the match is gone. It's gone a bit weird, to be honest. I thought it was going to be really good. When we caught them fish on the pole early, I thought it would just get better and better from there. But definitely, with it being so changeable, the weather perhaps, they seem to have gone really quiet in the middle of the match, and then they've definitely come back and had a bit of a feed. I think in hindsight, I've definitely not got it right, far from it. I think if I were to fish it again, I'd have set up a bomb and bread for the island and probably started on that and fished that in all the quiet spells, maybe pick a few fish off. The lead with pellets was definitely my best. It was my banker. It's produced 90% of my fish today. The pole's worth a few fish. So, again, I think on another day that could have been really good. I know they've caught a lot of fish on it on the next peg. On Sunday actually won the match, and that was on this pole shallow. So it had potential to catch fish, but today for some reason, everything definitely wants to hang further out. The only additional thing that I think I possibly should have set up was a little waggler rod just to throw over them pellets. There's been a few fish caught on a pellet waggler all the way around, so it might have caught me a few fish. But that said, with this wind cutting through the way it was, I think it'd have been really difficult to fish. So possibly, I'm not quite sure about that, but I should have had it set up anyway. Other than that, I've really enjoyed the day. I'm not quite sure what we've got. I think probably 80 to 90 pound would be my guess. Whether that'll be enough, I don't know. There's a lot of people I can't see around the back that have caught a few. But the scale's coming around now, so see how we've got on.
Yeah, go on. Yeah, go for it. It's a nice fish. Yes. 56. Cheers, mate. Oh, thanks.
Yeah, everything on pellets.
Yeah, fair play. It's a nice fish, isn't it? Right, mate. Tom.
Having a bad split that end, yeah. That's pretty good. You ain't going to get much closer. 56 pound dead again. Thank you very much.
Well done, well done, well done.
56 dead, yeah.
Right, so look, I've ended the match. I've had £112. I think I've had £112 dead, which I'm really happy with. It turns out I've just been enough to win a match. There's been £108. I think there's been a 70 odd in the far corner as well. But see, I've really enjoyed my day. It's nice to have a different day, fishing some running lines, feeding a bit of bait, but it's just starting to get warm. It's been nice to finally give them a little bit. But I'm quite happy with my day's gone. There's a few things I should have done different. I should have definitely had that waggler set up. And again, I think the meth feed was completely wrong. I'd have been better off fishing a bomb and bread. But see, if I come here next time, you never know, the method might be better, or I might fish the bomb and bread, catch all day, who knows. So it's all about feeling your way in as much as you can and making the right decisions as quickly as you can. So hopefully you've learned a bit from that today.